All right, so I've had 48 hours with the Switch 2, enough time to really dive into its features and its quirks, and trust me, there are definitely some quirks. The user's console is offline, so the virtual game card couldn't be ejected. Try again after they have connected their console to the internet. So essentially, this is just annoying. I know you've got some burning questions. I'm here with the answers, so let's get into it. First question is going to be, is it actually powerful now? And what is it equivalent to? Can you use your old controllers and accessories? Is the screen really better? What games actually perform better right now? And should you sell your OG Switch? Plus, what even is the virtual card system? We've got a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Let's start with the obvious one, which is performance. The Switch 2 is running a custom NVIDIA Tegra. It's got an 8-core CPU and a 12 SM Ampere-based GPU. Now, even though it's heavily modified, it makes sense to compare this to the Ampere lineup. And the RTX 3050 has about 500 more CUDA cores. That's the closest Ampere it can be compared to, so it actually kind of lands closer to the performance of an RTX 2050. Sounds pretty rough, right? The original Switch had a GPU comparable to a GT 640 from 2012. So while this isn't a 5090, it is a massive upgrade from the original hardware. Okay, but what about all your old gear? Is this another Nintendo makes you rebuy everything moment? Good news, most accessories carry over. Pro Controller works. Joy-Cons still work if you're brave enough to roll the dice on the stick drift, but aftermarket stuff like the SplitPad Pro or other slide-on controllers, generally not supported. Now the screen, this one's a bit tricky. Technically, yes, it's better, but it depends on what you're comparing it to. It's not better than the OLED in terms of contrast or color pop, but compared to the original Switch, it's a noticeable upgrade, mostly because of the size. Now, HDR support sounds great, right? In practice, but not always. The Switch 2 forces HDR on pretty much everything by default, and that can make things look washed out and flat. So make sure to turn that off in the settings when you get your Switch 2. And while you're in there, go to the system menu and turn on the stop charging at 90% feature. That'll help preserve your battery life and its health for the long term. All right, here's the part that surprised me. Some older games actually run better. Now, these aren't new games for the Switch 2, but they have been improved. Here's what I tested. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Zelda Link's Awakening, and both of the new Switch 2 upgrades for the Zelda games. So these games mostly load faster and have better performance. Nothing earth-shattering, but definitely noticeable. Now here's the part that had me borderline rage-quitting mid-test, the virtual card system. When you first set up your Switch 2, you're able to transfer all your games and virtual cards, but you need both systems present and turned on. Sounds simple, right? But it's not. They have to be close together, and at least for mine, the transfer failed like 4 times. So while filming and trying to capture footage of Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2 and on the Switch, my Switch died. And because the game was still loaded on my OG Switch when it died, I had to charge it back up, go into the system, and manually unload the game to free it up for the Switch 2. It didn't recognize that the Switch 1 was dead, it just recognized that it was probably in standby and the game was thus still loaded in. It's like Nintendo wanted to go digital but couldn't let go of physical cartridges, so they Frankenstein the worst parts of both. You're basically ejecting your virtual card from a dead console to unlock it on your new one. It sounds terrible because it is. It's restrictive, it's clunky, and honestly it feels like DRM dressed up in a Mario costume, which is very weird. So after 48 hours, has my verdict changed? Still a no. In fact, it might actually be more of a no now than it was when I posted that video like a day ago. Virtual card system is a complete mess, and I didn't even get a chance to test it enough to tell you guys how bad it actually was. Don't even bother upgrading yet. If your Switch is on life support, this might be worth it. But don't expect a generational leap just yet. More honest thoughts and updates coming soon, so hit the subscribe button, and if you want real takes, no sugarcoating, no hype, just an honest dad giving you honest takes on what you should play and on what you should buy. Anyway, thanks so much, guys.